cup of water, and I'm going to put a quarter cup of silk coconut milk, and I used a tablespoon, and I'll dip my bread in the solution, and then I will put this in a non-stick pan and cook it. I'm using sourdough bread, and in my mixture I use 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and I use just one of my very large brown eggs from my chickens. And this is a very light recipe. I'm not using any butter, and that reduces the calories. Well, there's our finished island-inspired toast. It's just a little take off of French toast using coconut milk. It's delicious. I'm serving this with a boiled egg, and it's low in calories because we didn't use any butter.
Congratulations, Nina. Congratulations on your wedding. Congratulations.
Talk with you about the process of achieving whatever goals that you want to achieve. Number one, I want you to get a 3x5 card. And I want you to carry it with you every day. On one side, I want a picture of the goal that you want to achieve. I had a picture of the home. I'd identify the home. It's very important. You keep the thought in your mind. You have a visualization of that goal and that dream. How many ever thought about somebody and they call you out of the blue? Raise your hands, please. So I was just about to call a friend yesterday, and the phone started ringing. Our thoughts have magnetic power. The reason only 1% of people reach their goals is because 99% of people become victims of what I call weapons of mass distraction. They're distracted, more concerned about what Donald Trump is going to do next as opposed to how they're going to reach their goal and their dream. So you have to harness your mind. Hear me clearly on this. They did a study, the 26-year most exhaustive study ever done. It's called Learned Optimism, to find out what is it that causes people to succeed, what is it that causes people to fail. They discovered between the ages of 0 and 5, a word is formulated in your heart. And that word is either yes or that word is no. It's either yes or no, based upon your circumstances, based upon your parents, based upon the educational system, based upon your environment. And given my environment, I had to work real hard because I came up in an environment of poverty. See, during 0 and 5, a child determines what's available to them and what's not available to them. And so, what I did is what you're doing right now. This is the first step. I got involved actively in a program to change my mindset. Write this down. Read 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day. Every day, you're programming your mind. Read 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day. 2, I want you to go to lesbrownmotivation.com. There you'll find 3 videos. I want you to watch them for 90 days. 3 videos. One's called It's Not Over Till I Win. I'm speaking to over 80,000 people in the Georgia Dome. One's called You Deserve. It's an Emmy Award-winning special that I did. Another one called It's Possible. As you watch this every day, business. Now, and the reason I had to do that is because I had a lot to overcome to develop credibility and develop a level of acceptance in the area where I wanted to go. I used to go see Zig Ziglar, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, and Zig Ziglar for years, and Wayne Dyer, and my heart said, I can do that. How do you like to help people? Raise your hands, please. Fantastic. And then when I would get outside, going to my car, my mind would kick in. It would become logical and practical and realistic. Let's run. You don't have a college education. Let's run. You never worked for a major corporation. And by the time I got to my car, I talked myself out of it. And a gentleman that I had a chance to eulogize, he helped change my life. I never forget it. When I walked in this classroom one day, I was in 11th grade, and he said, young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me. I said, oh, sir, I can't do that. He says, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, look at me. Yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. And the other students started laughing and said, he's Leslie. He's DT. His twin brother is small. He's a twin. But he's DT. He said, what's DT? He's a dumb twin. And the kids erupted in laughter, and I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk. He looked at me. He said, don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Even turning point in my life. On the hand, I was humiliated, but on the other hand, I was liberated because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. Look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. And so this man helped me to become exposed to techniques and strategies and some of those things that we share with you now of how I could change my reality. How many of you are ready for a big change in your life? Raise your hands, please. How many of you would like to have more time for yourself? Raise your hands, please. Now, I love to travel. Cerny and Michelle, I don't know where they are from Malaysia. My business partners, there they are. My business partner from Malaysia, and we've been to over 22 countries together. That is very, very exciting. Give Cerny a round of applause. All right? Where is she? And there she is. I've been looking at. Here's Michelle. Stand up, Michelle. Give Michelle a round of applause. Global partners. Because it's a small world now. And you want partnerships. In order to make it, there are three things that's important. First one, I already gave you. That is to restructure your thinking. That's number one. Number two, and I'm going to walk you through the process, to increase your skill set. Skill set in the domestic economy will not serve you in this global economy. And three, you want to have collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Write that down. Collaborative people you can work with, achievement-driven. Most people, their relationships are entertainment-driven. Achievement-driven, supportive relationships. So, Cerny and Michelle, because of their technical knowledge, they've accelerated my ability to increase my ability to earn more. Now, Dr. Julie Van Button, now this is the love of my life, and today is her birthday. Stand up, Dr. Julie. Let us say happy birthday. Let's say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Give another round of applause. Now, this is important what I'm about to say to you. Have someone in your life who can see what you can't see in you. Now, today's her birthday, but because of her, I'm celebrating a lot of birthdays. Because of her, when I was in Florida Hospital, and they said, Mr. Brown, your PSA, and that says prostate specific antigen, is 2,400, and cancers metastasized to 7 areas of your body intellectually and financially. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. You want people around you that encourage you, people around you that you can learn from. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough out of Atlanta said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. This is real. Most people don't know people rub off. And so you have to start thinking about people that's in your life and begin to detoxify your life. Let people go who are not going in the same direction that you're going in. Let people go who don't have goals and dreams. Repeat after me, please. Let go. Or be dragged. Yeah, you got to let some people go or they are going to drag you down. How many of you know that? Raise your hands, please. Very good. Now, here's something else. Challenge your thinking. I didn't do what I'm doing now for 14 years because of the fact that I believe what was said about me. What people believe about how you live your life is a result of the story you believe about yourself. So when I would go see Zig Ziglar, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, and Robbins, and I would see those guys, and my heart would say, I can do that. And then my mind would ask, how? How many ever saw something you wanted to do, and then you ask how, and you talk yourself out of it? Raise your hands, please. Let me give you a breakthrough moment right now. Get ready. Are you ready for it? I went to see Zig Ziglar. There was a guy speaking on the program. This guy was not a great speaker. In fact, he was below average. And he put people to sleep, but I didn't go to sleep because I drove a long way to be there and to be in this environment because I was looking for a breakthrough in my life. My mother had been diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was in a dispute with my brothers and sisters. They wanted to put her in a nursing home. I had a problem with that. How can one woman raise 7 children who couldn't take care of themselves, but 7 grown people couldn't take care of one woman? I had a problem with that. And so I was looking for an answer. Am I making sense to you on this? I was looking for an answer, and I love to help people. And so this guy, he spoke, and a fraction of the time. Here's something else. You have to have a mentor. Why? There are people presenting today, sharing with you information. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. This is the guy, Mike Williams, who saw me, this Les Brown. I didn't know this Les Brown existed. And said, Brownie, you can do more than be a disc jockey. I was in Columbus, Ohio, WBKO radio station. He expanded my vision of myself. I started promoting concerts. We brought these little guys to town. Down front is Michael Jackson in 10. And that's me standing in the back, and it's not Photoshop either. But let me share why I'm sharing this picture with you. I had you to shake somebody's hand. You don't know whose hand you shook. Eye has not seen. Ear has not heard. You don't know whose hand you shook. That person is the next millionaire. That person whose hand you shook is born with greatness in him. That person whose hand you shook, God has a special mission for that person that's seated next to you. Give yourselves a round of applause for showing up. Bring your energy like love. Bring your energy like love. How many would like to make a difference in your community? Raise your hands, please. Very good. I used to be a state legislator. I didn't know I could do that. Passed 14 bills my first term. I want you to go to lesbrownmotivation.com and leave your information. Because we're going to be doing some seminars and workshops and webinars teaching everyday people how to use their talents, abilities, their skills, and their story. How many of you have a story? Raise your hands, please. How many of you like to learn how to make money with your story like I do? Raise your hands, please. Fantastic. Email me at lesbrown77@gmail.com. And so I resigned from the Ohio legislature to go back home and take care of my mother. I was not going to allow her to be put in a nursing home. How many of you can understand that? Raise your hands, please. That's my mom, Amy Brown. She's 89. I took care of her till she's 89. And so when I think about the work that I do, to me, children? Raise your hands, please. Very good. This is my second motivation. These are my children. Calvin, on your left, he's the CEO, and that's my youngest daughter, Serena. And John Leslie, he's the promoter. Ona, my oldest daughter, she's a speaker. They're all writing their books and speaking and using knowledge as the new currency. My son Patrick, who is an author and a life coach. See, the thing is this. Let us say together, generational wealth. How many want to learn how to create that? Raise your hands, please. We'll teach you how to do this. I'm telling you. Said, our speaker canceled the last minute. I know you're tired. You have enough energy for another speech? And I said, no, you're right, I'm tired. He said, we can pay your full fee. I said, the Lord is able. You know, people say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves, right? So they took me to the Georgia World Commerce Center, and they had me backstage. And I said, excuse me. I said, I've got to go to the restroom. So I had to go to the restroom, you know, tighten myself up a little bit. And so I got my little mademoiselle out, you know, that stuff. Getting it all together, tighten it so. The lady wanted to know everybody to know she knew me. So when I came up on the stage, she said, here is Les Brown. And she kissed me on the cheek. And I kissed her on the cheek, left this big black smudge on her face. I didn't know what to do, so I just sat down. So the people down front started saying, there's something on your face. So she looked at me, she said, what are they saying? I said, I don't know. So finally somebody came down, opened up their purse, gave her a mirror. Now nobody asked her to do that. She looks at me, she said, how did this get here? I said, I don't know. You think maybe this rubs off? The reason I'm sharing that with you, I now use waterproof Mademoiselle. Sometimes a man has got to do what he's got to do, all right? Here's the other thing. That's somebody said, I can't believe he did that. Here's the other thing, please. Let us say together, you got to be hungry. Mr. Washington, Mr. Brown, what do you do with your life, young man? Sir, what about my mother at home? He said, you got to be hungry. I said, what do you mean by that? People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. That's why you're still here, because you are hungry. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on, bring it into the applause. And so I did that. He said, now I want you to visualize yourself being on radio every day and practice. And I did that. And finally I came to him. I said, sir, I've done the things you told me to do. He said, good. Now you've got to go to WMBM radio station on Miami Beach. I said, thank you, sir. He said, don't forget, you got to be hungry. I said, I am, sir. I'm very hungry. And so I went and I applied for a job. WMBM radio station. Milton Butterball Smith was the program director. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be this job. He said, young man, you have any journalism in your background? I said, no, sir, I don't. You have any experience in broadcasting? I said, no, sir, but give me a shot, sir. Just give me a chance to audition for you, and I can show you how good I am. He said, no, we don't have any job for you. How many have ever been rejected? Raise your hands, please. I was devastated with rejection. I went back, and I said, Mr. Washington, they said no. He said, don't take it personally. Those people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Go back again. I went back again. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here yesterday? I said, yes, sir, I was. Did I tell you no yesterday? I said, yes, sir, you did. He said, then why are you back today? I said, well, sir, I don't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. He said, no one was laid off or fired. Now get on out of here. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy, like I sing it for the first time. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. He said, then why are you back today? I said, sir, I don't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. Listen, no one got sick or died. No one was laid off or fired. Now don't you come back here again. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy like I sing it for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you? He looked at me with rage. He said, go get me some coffee. I said, come up here, they had advantages I didn't have. You know, when I see Donald Trump, his father gave him $200 million. How many of you know someone gives you $200 million, you got a good shot at making your wealth? Am I right? I mean, you know, my mama gave us 2 pieces of sugar cane. we used to have butter and sugar sandwiches. Oh my God. Oh my God. We were poor, but we didn't know it. You know, you used to go get that box in the welfare department. They had powdered milk. I don't care what you did with that milk. It didn't taste like milk. Leslie, I didn't know y'all on welfare. Oh no, I'm getting this for our neighbors. Oh my God! So, my goal, I'm going to make 21 millionaires. I know they're here. I know you're out there somewhere. I'm looking forward to have some fun. I like to make a difference, have some fun, and make some money. Raise your hand. So this is my first time speaking. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to coming back. So I'd like to leave this with you. I don't know what your goals are. My mother used to love to hear me say this. Make sure you email me now. And Leslie, yes ma'am, Mama. Say that thing for me, boy, that makes me feel good. I dedicate this to you, the dream that's in your heart, caused you to be here today. It says simply this: if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for, to work day and night for, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it. And if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gold, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege it, beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it. God bless you. God bless your dream. God bless America. Thank you very much.